Hello guys, Crispy here, welcome back to another Sunday video. In this one, my friends, we're gonna be testing this 9-year-old laptop with a GeForce 820M GPU. This is the Asus X751L, and it's a 17-incher. That's very big, my friends. With an Intel Core i5-4210U, which is a dual core with 4 threads at 2.4 GHz, 8 GB of DDR3 memory. I actually tried to upgrade that, but 4 of those gigabytes are soldered into the motherboard, and none of my 8 GB sticks actually worked with it. So we're stuck with 8 gigs, but that should be enough for most of the games that we're about to play today. And that's because the Nvidia GeForce 820M is actually a Fermi GPU, and it doesn't support the latest titles. So don't get fooled by its 800 series name. This GPU is based on the same architecture as the Nvidia 500 and 400 series from 2010 and 11. Now the 820M right here released in November of 2013, so it's actually 10 years old at the moment, and of course it was a lower end GPU from that lineup with 96 CUDA cores, 16 TMUs, 8 ROPs, and 1 or 2 gigabytes of DDR3 memory. And I am happy to tell you, my friends, that for the first time I didn't cheap out and got the 1 GB version. This is actually the 2 gig 820M. Beast. Lastly, the GPU only consumes 15 watts of power, which is very little, of course, and that means that it's not really meant for gaming whatsoever. But of course, as usual, we gotta put it to the test. So let's play some games on the Nvidia GeForce 820M, shall we? Okay, before we get into the good old games, I want to show you something very interesting. So the 820M, as you know, is a Fermi GPU, and the latest driver that it supports is the 391.35 driver. It does not support anything higher than that. Yet, if I go to the official drivers page in Nvidia's website and search for the 820M's drivers, it shows us the version 425.31, and I have tried to install these drivers, but these are Kepler only. The 820M does not support the drivers from Nvidia's website. Like, even Nvidia doesn't know that this is a Fermi GPU. Very weird, isn't it? But let's get to the first game now. And first up, we got Counter-Strike 2, my friends, at 640 by 480 using the lowest settings. No FSR, because with these old GPUs, it actually hurts performance. And let's see how it goes. Not expecting great things. Okay, let's start counting our FPS. That is absolutely terrible. Oh no. At least it's getting 30 sometimes, but we are fully CPU bound here. The little i5 just can't handle it. Look at that. 2.4 gigahertz, 10 watts of usage. By the way, I can't really show you the TDP of the GPU on screen, or not the TDP, but the power usage, because it doesn't support it in MSI Afterburner. Oh, come on, I can do this. Yes, there we go, perfect. It wasn't even a bot, wow, okay. So I might still be able to do something. There we go, another one down. FPS dropped like crazy. Oh my gosh! When I saw the guy, and when I start spamming the gun as well like this, it tends to drop. The GPU has a little bit more to give, which is interesting. I wasn't expecting that either. I thought it was going to be the bottleneck, but let's go ahead and increase the resolution. Okay, I set it to 720p, much higher resolution than 640 by 480, lowest settings, and now... No, it's still not GPU maxed out. Look at that. The CPU is such a big bottleneck that it just can't really utilize the 820M fully. The freaking 820M. I never imagined that this would be our CS2 experience, my friends, but I guess I should have seen it coming. This game was released this year after all, right? Oh my gosh. It's a big shame though, because if you were playing Counter-Strike Go back in 2014 when this PC came out with this little CPU, it would have been playable for sure. I mean, I played with lower end specs back in the days. But now, yeah, they just completely killed CSGO, of course, as you know. RIP to CSGO. And now this is what we have. So, you need an upgrade if you're running this. Oh boy. Okay, yeah, let's stop it there, guys. I'm done with let's go play some Dota 2. Here we go. This is running at 1600 by 900 resolution, which is actually the screen resolution of this laptop, and we're using the lowest settings here with 100% resolution scale. Gonna hit play over here and take a look at this gameplay that these people are playing. First of all, that frame time is absolutely horrendous. Like, it is completely terrible. I can definitely feel the stutters here while just panning the camera around, you know. It is terrible. And it's dropping into the 20s as well. And if you notice, the 820M sometimes gets maxed out, as you can see right there with the ultimate from Invoker. But most of the time we are in a CPU-bound scenario, so the little i5 just doesn't have what it takes at those measly 2.4 gigahertz and 2 cores to run Dota 2, my friend. Now, it just came to my mind trying out some throttle stop right here in Dota 2 to see if I can improve the clock speeds there, and you can see it briefly going up to like 2.7 gigahertz sometimes, especially if I click over here, but it's only briefly and it doesn't stay there, and it goes right back to the 2.4 gigahertz once again, so it doesn't improve anything, guys. And the TDP is still the same, so it's crap. I'm just gonna turn this off and let's move on to the next game. Oh wow, guess what's playing better, or at least more consistently than CS2 and Dota 2? It's freaking GTA 5, my friends. What? So we're playing this one in DirectX 10 using 720p resolution and the lowest settings in the game, which are the normal settings. Advanced graphics are all turned off, of course. CPU utilization is quite high, as you can see. That's to be expected from a dual core with 4 threads, and one that only consumes 15 watts of power, supposedly, but it's kind of handicapped. It's at 10 watts in this video for some reason. It doesn't matter though, because it's hitting the rated clock speeds anyways. But look at this, even while driving, well, moderately fast, because we have a terrible car at the moment, it's not really struggling to like load textures and stuff like that. I actually expected that to happen. Well, it's starting to happen a little bit right now, but it's not really stuttering whatsoever. Also, to get rid of the texture pop-in issues, all you need to do is lock your FPS. If you lock it to 30, for example, it's gonna get a flat frame time graph and 30 FPS all of the time, and that is a great experience. I'm actually gonna do that right now so you can see. Here we have it. I kept it to 30 in RiveTuner statistics server, and as you can see, it is now getting 30 flat all of the time. It dropped our CPU utilization as well, so we won't have any pop-in issues, and this is a decent experience. No stuttering once again. Hello, Jack. How's it going? Looking gorgeous once again there. Ah, beautiful. Hey, I love you too, buddy. I love you too. The VRAM is enough, thankfully, as well as the RAM. Goodbye, Bob. And yeah, it's just a decent experience. Not great, not amazing, but certainly very stable. It's kind of like an Xbox 360/PS3 version of the game running right here. So GTA 5, so far, it's the only AAA title that we've played, and it's the only playable one. Next is Fortnite at 1080p using the performance mode and the lowest settings here. Oh no, I am very sad to say this, but I think we're in for some Stutter Night gameplay instead of Fortnite, guys. Let's start counting our FPS. Down here it's not as bad, but oh no, yeah, never mind. Look at the 1% lows. You can see that whenever we are GPU bound, like right now, we can actually get up to like 40 frames per second consistently. So if it wasn't for the GPU or CPU bottleneck scenario, we would be in for a pretty decent experience. Oh boy, I made it, my friends. Look at this. Look at this. I can still kill some people. Oh yes, that was probably a bot though. Oh my god, you know what? Is this supposed to look like this? No, it was just loading. Okay. I was wondering, like, performance mode seems to look way more terrible than I remember it. Come on. Oh my god. Let's go. SMG. Yes. Where is she? I heard her. There she is. There we go. We got this. Okay. This one is dead. And now let's push this one right here. Come on. Oh, I'm out of bullets. I totally forgot. Okay, there's another one. There. Come on. Can still do this. Look at my weapon, by the way. It's still loading, I think. Damn it! Yeah, it was still loading. See, that's the problem with the CPU. We've also installed this on an SSD, by the way, so no problem storage speed-wise. It's just the CPU being completely maxed out. It does these things. But yeah, processors, especially this one apparently, it is really, really bad. I guess for a little kid, for example, who doesn't know any better, he might be able to enjoy some Fortnite. It's a good entry level here for Fortnite, and it just goes to show you how well they optimized this performance mode, right? Next is the good old Far Cry 3, one of my favorite games of all time at 900p DirectX 9 and the low settings preset, and it's getting 30 each frames per second. CPU utilization sometimes goes up to 100%. It's crazy, dude. Like, this is a 2012 CPU and it can't keep up with the freaking 820M sometimes in so many titles. Oh, I'm actually gonna lock the FPS to 30 once again to have a smooth frame time graph without many spikes. And yeah, let's play like this. What have you done, guys? You killed the bastards. Good job. There are more bastards coming. Come on, help me. There are still a couple of frame time spikes here and there, by the way. Oh boy, there we go. Okay, it's dropping like crazy already, dude. Oh boy, what is happening? Who is making this noise with the car? Is it my friends? Oh, yes. What are you doing? Guys, no, do not kill yourselves. Oh, this is a tragic accident, guys. Look at this. So with the FPS lock, you sometimes, or at least most of the time, you do get 30 FPS. But once you come into a fight with some bad guys, it just drops like crazy, as you saw. I guess the CPU just gets overwhelmed. I am so sad at the moment. I'm gonna select the 720p resolution next, okay? Still stuttering, guys, even at 720p. It's so sad to see this, dude. Far Cry 3 was such a good experience in my old GT 630M laptop that I had back in the days. Yeah, and the 630M was actually faster, I guess, than the 820M, because that was a Kepler GPU with 192 CUDA cores, I think. And to think that this CPU also comes in laptops with GTX 850Ms and 950Ms sometimes. That's pretty bad. Okay, let's play some Left 4 Dead 2, my friends. This should run pretty smoothly because it's from 2009. Oh my god, it's still being bottlenecked. Okay, are you kidding me? Alright, anyway, 720p resolution using high settings here. Okay, I remember playing this game with, I think like 25 frames per second or something like that, with a really low resolution at the same time, back in the days when I had the GeForce 103M. You know, that's from the 100 series, and it was one of the worst ones. So you can imagine that if I had this experience back then, I would be super happy. Now, the frame time is not really completely flat, and the 1% lows are pretty low right there, but I'm not really feeling any major stuttering. It's very playable. Okay, so now it's dropping into the 40s. Oh, hello. Guys, please help. Thank you. Goodbye, smoker. There we go. That's why you don't smoke, my friends. Do not smoke in real life, okay? Alright, I just want to check it out in another scenario. Right there, there's a lot of vegetation. Let me see the explosion as well. We're CPU bound at the moment, by the way. Yeah, this is it right here. Vegetation around us. Not really dropping the FPS by much. I thought it was going to drop a little bit further here. Now I just locked the FPS to 45, and it delivers a much more stable experience, as you can see. There are no frame time spikes anymore, guys. And I think this is definitely how I'd play this game. It's much more stable than with 60 to 70 frames per second most of the time, with some drops into the 40s and 50s. Yeah, this is a good experience now. I would have loved to have this back in 2009 when this game came out, 2010 as well when I played it. But of course, this wasn't really out at that time, so I couldn't have had it. Time for the Call of Duty title of the day. It's not the latest one, obviously, far from it. This is Call of Duty Black Ops 2. We're playing it at 720p resolution, using 90 FOV, no shadows, high textures, and everything else on low. These are actually the settings that I utilized back when I played it on my GT 630M laptop. And I enjoyed it, my friends, and I had more FPS than these because I wasn't CPU bound. I had the i7-3610QM, and this i5, it just lacks a lot, man. It's good enough for 60 FPS, don't get me wrong, and you can actually play the game, so there's that. But in a Call of Duty title, of course, everybody knows by now that you require 60 plus consistently, otherwise you won't otherwise you won't stand a chance. That's it. You won't change a stance. That works too. But alright, locking it to 45 FPS, we'll probably get rid of all of our issues once again. Still see a little frame time spike there, but no problem. And if you're wondering, I'm not running anything else in the system but the game and the on-screen display, which is not CPU intensive at all, so there's that. I'm also recording everything with a capture card. Should have probably started with that, right? But yeah, that's not the problem, guys. I never capture anything locally, so the performance doesn't get hit. Alright, that's it for Black Ops 2. I could definitely enjoy this. Not the greatest thing in the world again, but hey, it is doable. No. What is happening? What is happening? Guys, this is Rust. I just joined a server. I got timed out. Oh my god. Seriously. No! This is terrible news! I spent like 35 minutes waiting for the server to load. Well, I guess I'm gonna grab some dinner and I'll be right back in like half an hour. Okay, guys, I don't think this is gonna work. I have tried to join like 5 or 6 different servers at this point, restarted the game and everything. It's always saying timed out. So it worked briefly in that first one, but we do not have enough RAM to play this game. It requires 10 gigabytes as a minimum. And from what I saw when I joined the server, it was getting like 30 FPS just sleeping here. So it wouldn't be a great experience anyways. Let's move on. Next is Valorant, a really easy game to run at 1080p using low settings, and it's definitely gonna be CPU bound. The CPU is terrible, man. So as expected, we are completely CPU bound even at 1080p resolution, guys. We're getting some weird frame time spikes over there. Look at that graph, dude. But I mean, it makes sense that this CPU is so terrible. It's 9 years old after all. It's running at 11 watts, like 12 sometimes. It's a 15-watt TDP part. It just can't handle most things. Even Valorant is stuttering. Look at the 1% lows right there. This is unplayable for Valorant, okay? I really thought that Valorant would be one of the games that were gonna be playable today. And if this had a faster CPU, it would have been playable. Because GPU usage is around like 70%, 50 to 70 most of the time. Oh my god, look at this. My gosh, it's crawling right now. What is that? Ugh. But yeah, that GPU utilization tells us that at 99%, it would probably be capable of achieving 60 to 80 frames per second most of the time, I guess. And it would have been a great experience for an 820M. It's just that this CPU can't do anything. Valorant is not playable, for frick's sake. Alright everyone, we're playing Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012. Somebody suggested it on our Discord server. The link is down below in the description, by the way. I know they probably meant Most Wanted from 2005, but I figured it's probably capable of running this one, at least at 720p minimum settings. But it is struggling a little bit. That frame pacing is terrible, and this time it's not because of the CPU. The CPU can handle it absolutely fine. You can see that it's not maxed out whatsoever. I mean, at this point, it's just the GPU's fault, I think, guys. Or maybe some issue within the game itself. I noticed that when I set it to 1600 by 900 resolution, it sets it to 24 frames per second, locked all of the time. This is locked at 60 FPS, but of course we aren't really getting that, so we get these huge frame drops, which aren't really too noticeable, but I mean, if you want to get rid of them, which you definitely do want to get rid of them, you need to lock the FPS to a lower value than what we are getting right here. Oh my god, I didn't know that this happened. I totally forgot about this game. Just lock it to 30 and you're good to go. It's still very disappointing to see this kind of performance though, because the 8800 GTX, which was the last GPU that I tested in this game, from 2006, played this game better. Holy crap, okay, look at that frame time graph. Obviously, I was expecting this. This is Minecraft Java Edition with Iris and Sodium. You can see the version on the top left corner. I'm playing this on a window, but it is at 1080p resolution. And yeah, it's not enough. It's not enough to max out our little 820M, my friends. Although right now it's a lot better because it already loaded the chunks around us. Again, for a little kid, it would be probably enough. I played Minecraft back in the days with lower FPS than these, I think. But it could be a little bit headache-inducing as well. So if you're a parent and you want to buy a cheap laptop for your kid to play Minecraft on, don't do this, please. Buy them something a little bit better. Minecraft Java Edition is definitely not very well optimized, so I'm actually gonna try out the Bedrock version, the Windows 10 edition. Oh, that's better. Okay, that is so much better. Oh boy. All right. So we're using the same settings as I used in Java Edition, although the menu is a bit different. It's high settings, pretty much everything is set to the maximum here. I'm actually going to utilize like 100 FOV, same as previously. And the only thing that I changed was render distance. I set it to 6 in both versions, but we can actually increase it a little bit here. I'm going to set it to 12, and I changed the anti-aliasing to 1 as well. And okay, so this way it's actually GPU maxed out. As you can see, frame time is a little bit crazy like it was. It's exactly like it was in Need for Speed. That is pretty weird. But yeah, now the game is playable. It doesn't really feel stuttery. When it hits 60 FPS, it stays at 60 FPS. But this area is pretty intensive. It has a lot of trees and it drops us from 30. So not ideal, right? I'm gonna lower it down a little bit again. So the 12 chunks are definitely a bit too much. I'm gonna do 8 chunks. There's a little bit of input lag as well when it gets 60 FPS because of VSync, but who cares really? Like, this is so smooth compared to everything that we've seen so far that I just want to play Minecraft like this forever in this PC, my friends. I'm gonna call it the GTA 5 and Minecraft machine because these are the only two games that didn't really stutter all that much, right? Another game that's locked to 60 frames per second is The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, and look at this, it is so smooth, guys. This is a good experience here. CPU utilization is pretty low, GPU usage is high, so it would be the bottleneck if we unlocked the FPS, but I don't recommend you to do that because it will break the engine and the physics. Now in this area, it's actually performing quite well. I thought it was gonna drop a little bit further from 60 FPS, maybe get like 50 most of the time, but no, it's in there, it's hanging in there, my friends. 99% GPU utilization, but it is getting 60 FPS locked. That's to be expected, it's Skyrim after all, of course. It's very, very easy to run these days, and it's at 720p lowest settings. Damn, I'm forgetting to show you the settings very often here today. I needed to do that before getting into the game, actually. Sorry about that, but I just clicked low settings, set the textures to high, and that's it. Let's steal the roach over here, okay? Everybody knows that he's mine, though. Oh, were you watching me? Because of low settings, he's just popped out of nowhere. Dropping over here into like the 40s at times, right? It's pretty intensive right here. Yeah, not so much, you know? It's not really dropping by that much. But yeah, I would definitely recommend these settings for the 820M. It delivers a really smooth experience with some drops here and there. If you're fighting like dragons and so on, it will also drop into the 40s and even lower than that sometimes, probably. There's one thing that I would probably change though, that's the object render distance or LOD or whatever. Yeah, because some things only pop up when you are very, very close to them. Another game that should run pretty well on this is Tomb Raider 2013. We're playing this one, or I'm about to show you the benchmark of this one at 720p using low settings. This is just a preset, I didn't change anything else. Look at that frame time graph. See, this was another AAA title from 2013 when this little system came out. Well, CPU is from 2014, but you can clearly see that this is a well-optimized title. It's running okay. I mean, the 820M is the clear bottleneck in the system. It's completely maxed out, but it's still pulling out 60-something FPS on average with 1% lows in the 40s, which is respectable for a very low-end card like this one. I mean, it's based on architecture from 2010 after all. So also, it's heating up like crazy in this game, 91 degrees Celsius, Jesus Christ. Also, the CPU is not maxed out at all. It's completely enough for a game like this. So I guess the i5 was okay in 2013 for some titles. And at the end, these are the results. GPU temperatures are still going up somehow. And I don't want to cook this thing, so let's just move on to the next one. It should be fine, it's not throttling after all. Now, also from 2013, we got Battlefield 4 at 720p using the low settings and 100% resolution scale. And this... well, it's better than what I had at the time. It's actually doing better than my i7 and GT 630M combo, but that frame time graph... you already know. You need to drop it to 30 FPS and lock it to 30 FPS to achieve a consistent experience. Otherwise, it's gonna feel a little bit stuttery. It's not terrible, though. This is also a game with 40 players at the moment. It said that it had 64, but, you know, the servers lie sometimes in Battlefield games. Yeah, it's pretty weird. But still, this is a decent amount of people in a server, and sometimes the GPU gets bottlenecked, as you can see, but the CPU is handling it fine. For a dual core with 4 threads, only consuming 10 watts. I mean, I would say it's doing a really good job, actually. Alright, we're on top of the building now. Let's just drop down there. Go to the D site. Let's go. Oh boy. Well, guys, I actually tried to lock it to 30 FPS, but it's still a little bit inconsistent. Sometimes it drops. Right here, it's not really dropping that much. Only dipping to 29 once there, but over on the D side, it still dropped to like 28, 27, and 26. Not that great of an experience. I still haven't gotten a kill, guys. This is the time. No! 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 Oh my God, seriously. What are you doing here? Alright, we're playing PUBG now at 720p using the very low settings. It says 70% resolution scale there, but that would be like 506 or 504p. And I actually went into the config files to set the resolution scale to 10%. So what we're seeing here is 72p resolution. It's good to be back to these days, my friends. Anyways, it is definitely completely unplayable. Look at the input lag, by the way. Okay, here we go. Are you ready? There is like a second of input lag. All right, let's move on. This is not playable. And finally, for the last game, we got Apex Legends at 1024x768, targeting 40 frames per second. So it's actually going to run at a lower resolution to try and achieve 40 FPS, but I doubt that will happen. And we're using, of course, the lowest settings. It's struggling in the freaking menus, guys. How is it gonna launch it? Oh man, 11 watts is just not happening. Okay, I just started counting the FPS. Oh damn, alright. So if you want to play Apex Legends on a system like this, don't do it. Okay, it is gonna be absolutely terrible. Oh man, I just can't believe that the 820M is not really the bottleneck in most of these games, you know? I expected otherwise. This is an i5. Imagine what an i3 would do. Imagine what a Celeron would do. I think there are some Celeron laptops coupled with the 820M as well, or at least Pentium N40 somethings, you know? Let's go, jump! There we go! Oh, damn! Okay. So terrible. I believe if we hit one guy, there we go, we actually hit him, it counts as a kill with specs like these, right guys? Come on. Oh my god, that was actually surprisingly close. Well, that's it for Apex Legends, and that's about it for the game tests as well. I'm done with this. Let's go to the conclusion now. Okay, everyone, that was it for the 820M and i5 combo. I was really disappointed, guys. I gotta say, like, I was expecting a little bit better things coming from the GeForce GPU, but unfortunately, the CPU inside of this thing was the bottleneck in most of the games here today. But the thing is, if you don't want to play games, yeah, this is... Don't worry though, it's not broken or anything, I just haven't put it together yet. But if you don't do any gaming whatsoever, a configuration like this can be okay for like browsing the web, checking your emails, watch some YouTube videos as well. I didn't really have any major issues with that. And it has a touch screen as well, which is quite nice. It doesn't matter though, nobody should buy a system like this in 2023, okay? Unless it's for your grandma or something. And that's been it. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you in the next one very soon. As always, love you all. Bye-bye.